Greetings from the west side of Cleveland, Ohio. Today is Monday, August 19th, 2024. It is 7:12 a.m. and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Nice cloudy day, and today I am having my bicycle with me. We're going to do an early morning bike ride toward downtown Cleveland. And we're going to show you how to take the Red Line Greenway as one of the primary bike paths in order to get to downtown Cleveland. Now, the Red Line Greenway was finished in May 2021. I actually did a couple of videos showing that off. This intersection, you have to always be careful, so I just look behind me. No cars are coming, but when it's busier times of day, cars just turn on that quick diagonal. But yeah, the Red Line Greenway was finished in May 2021, but it begins at or right next to Michael's own rec center, which is near West 65th and Lorain Avenue. This video began at West Blvd and Lorain Avenue, which for street comparison numbers is right where West 100th or West 101st is. So we just have to go a little bit of a distance before we get to the Red Line Greenway, but then it'll be smooth sailing from there. There's a few stops where you do have to cross intersections, but otherwise you get good stretches where you don't have to worry about traffic. I have shot a couple of videos in the past, like one right when it opened pretty much in 2021, and I think I did another one either in 2022 or late 2021 that also showed snippets of the Red Line Greenway. But I've never done one of my videos where I have the camera attached to my chest mount like I do right now. So that'll be good to show like the full Red Line Greenway, because when I did clips of it in the past, that was back when I didn't have the chest mount. I would be trying to ride with one hand on the handlebars and the other hand holding my cell phone, and that's just always a dangerous thing to do. And as far as like, there's been several years or a couple years since I've had my chest mount, why haven't I done this ride? Well, most of the time in the morning when it's nice weather, the sun is rising from the direction we're heading now, so it just ended up working great where it's great temperature for bike riding today, and with it being cloudy, you're not going to get a big sunball in the camera lens that we're riding toward. So it was a great opportunity for that. It is a little windy. So hopefully the wind doesn't deter too much from the audio here. If it does, forgive me, but you can still enjoy the visuals of the bike ride. Now, once you get to West 92nd and Lorain, you have two choices you can make. You can either sort of diagonal onto Lorain Avenue, which would be over that little bridge toward the old West Tech building or West Tech High School, or you can continue your intuition would be like, you're probably continuing on Lorain, but because I didn't really change direction, but no, that would be Lorain over there on the left. This actually becomes the start of Clark Avenue. So past West 90th, I'm just starting on Clark. And I'm just going with the road that I feel like has less traffic. You know, the bridge, sometimes there's glass on the bridge. Although you're not going to be able to get around going over some form of a bridge, because up here at the traffic light you have another bridge that goes over to Lorain if you take it to the left, or your other decision is to go over the bridge on Clark, which is a longer bridge. And that one often has glass on it too, unless you decide to ride in the street. Yeah, so if we made a left turn, that would be going down West 85th Street. Oddly enough, if we made a right turn here, that's West 84th, even though, again, looks like the same road. This is a peculiar intersection too, because where we just came from on Clark is a one-way. When you're going there, it's two ways once you cross. But we have seen a few instances in the past where cars go the wrong direction down that one-way portion, and some of them I think do it intentionally because they're like, oh, we just want to turn on the first side street. But you know, if you're a person trying to cross the crosswalk and you're relying on no cars coming, so this would be Interstate 90 East if you went via car down the highway. Pedestrians, bicycles, obviously prohibited on that. About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, some very nasty weather ripped through Cleveland, bringing some like tornadoes and very high winds, which took power out for a ton of Clevelanders and surrounding Northeast Ohio cities for days and maybe even up to like a week. And there were a bunch of like tree limbs down, and I know Parma, there was a clip I saw of like the whole street worth of telephone poles was all ripped down. I think that one might have actually been where one of the tornadoes touched down. By the way, we caught a great break with there not being any glass on that bridge this time. I've ridden this many a times with my brother or mom, where we have to get off our bikes and walk for portions because there's just like broken bottles everywhere. So let's see if we keep that good trend going as we approach West 73rd Street. Again, West 73rd and Clark, you could make a left here and start going over to Lorain Avenue if you wished. What I'm going to do is sort of diagonal and go to the other side of the street. Yeah, so up ahead would again be Lorain Avenue, where the now old Social Security building would be, because even though that was relatively new, my mom just informed me that they moved that building or location down to around 44th Street. Anyway, back to the subject of the power outage and high wind storm and from a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I actually wasn't here at the time, but I was seeing all the news and staying in touch with my mom. So I got to see some pictures that she had taken of areas in the neighborhood where you could see trees down or general debris that had flown around. So I was wondering if I would see any of that like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, but I think by now a lot of that stuff would have been cleaned up. Nice little sunflowers there on the left. And my mom would always talk about when she was younger and grew up in the Cleveland area. I think it was the next door neighbor used to have these like ginormous sunflowers, and then I think it might have actually been, while we're on the subject of tornadoes, like a one very high wind or near tornado storm, if I'm not mistaken, that made those big sunflowers collapse or get ripped out. So it was like a sad day back then when that happened. All right, so now we're at West 65th and Clark. If you made a right-hand turn, you would go toward Denison, and up that way there's a lot of scrap yards and such. You actually want to cover that area briefly at some point one time just to show what's over there. But this button's not registering. That usually means if the button's not working that it's going to change automatically. What we're going to do is go straight and then make a left-hand turn, and that will be heading toward Lorain. All right, it didn't change. I don't know if it's a delayed change or just not going to work. That's where you just look both ways before you cross. Or even if it changed, you'll still look both ways. But this right here is the newer Max Hayes High School. It used to be on Detroit Avenue, somewhat close to, I don't know what exact street it would have been, but like let's just say around West 35th area. But it's already been up here for years. We're getting very close to the Red Line Greenway. On West 65th, they actually have put a curb bike lane in the street, which is nice. I mean, I like when you have, I was talking about this when I was riding in some other cities like Phoenix, I think. It's one thing to have just a bike lane, but sometimes they're like so skinny, it's right next to cars. This one I like because even though it's just a short distance, you have a very wide bike lane, but then you also have the little lane next to it where no one's supposed to go. So that really gives even though there's not barriers, which is the safest thing, it creates more space and gives you a better comfort level for riding that. All right, so now we're at Michael's Own Rec Center and Michael's Own Park from the city of Cleveland. So we're going to make a right-hand turn here and cut through the park. Of course, someone decided to smash the glass bottle there. You got a soccer field on the right. We just had a bunch of rain in Cleveland yesterday and some of the days before that, so that's one positive, of course, you're going to get a lot of luscious green trees, grass, despite all the hot weather. Now, remember, if you're watching this video, this is early morning, so you're not going to see like kids playing at the park, but trust me, Michael's Zone is one of those parks where you come on a nice day, an afternoon, evening. Well, I don't know about afternoon, depends if it's school time or not, but afternoon during the summer, evening during any nice weather, you're going to see like a lot of people utilizing the park. All right, so this part here is the multi-purpose trail within the park. Over on Lorain Avenue, which we're passing right now, would be where the Red Line RTA rapid station is for West 65th Street. And we're going to turn right. Go over this little bump on this tiny bridge. I don't like to go fast in that because that one is a hard bump on both ends, not a soft bump at all. Speaking of bumps, I didn't read I only saw the thumbnail and some of the comments. I didn't have time to watch it, but Action Kid, the YouTuber who started in New York and now goes to various cities and has like, I don't know if it's more than, but I think it's like around 400,000 plus subscribers. I got the impression that he might have been on his scooter and hit a bump the other day and broke something. He had a big cast on his leg in the thumbnail. So yeah, he broke either maybe his leg or something in the leg area. I've never ridden a scooter. Oh, here's one of those speed tables. They've put these in as traffic measures throughout Cleveland, although this one looks even bigger than some of the speed tables I've seen. Let's go ahead and cross now. So this is where the Red Line Greenway officially begins, part of the Cleveland Metro Parks. Of course, my thumbnail on this day is going to be overcast skies, but that's okay. Let's go try to grab one. One second, just grabbing a picture. All right, let's get going now. So this area is supposed to be regularly well taken care of by the Cleveland Metro Parks. You can see you even have little trash cans, a couple of benches. And some people have pointed out when I've covered various what I call bike trails in the past. Of course, they're not just bike trails, they're multi-purpose trails. Because that's part of the fun to always see walkers, joggers, dog walkers. We got the nice plants. And again, a little bit later in the day, you'll see the Red Line Greenway a little more utilized, but I typically don't see a super heavy volume of traffic on it unless you're getting closer to the downtown West 25th area. Then you'll see some more bicyclists ripping through. So you can't quite tell right now, but directly to our left beyond this greenery below us is the RTA Red Line. So if the train was coming by, you could hear it. Like visually, I can see the green car cables and some of the tracks. I don't know if the camera's picking it up at all, but you're also running alongside 90 East. Once you get a little bit further along, you're going to see some elevation differences where we are riding like at the same level that the red line would be, and we start distancing ourselves from the highway. So this is one of the intersections right here where we have to cross at let's see here, it says we're on along North Marginal, but they don't have a street sign going the other way, so I gotta check what it is above us. This is a one-way, so that's one of the good things about this. Once the traffic light changes, you don't have to worry about cars going from the opposite direction. And theoretically, there's supposed to be a no turn on red here. So once that light goes red, which it did now, it should be safe for us to go. And that is West 44th Street. So we just passed West 44th. By the way, for this video, we're actually going to explore a little bit further beyond the Red Line Greenway too. We're going to show you, as long as nothing happens to the bike, you always worry about that in the back of your head, like a flat tire or something. But if all goes smoothly, as we are at West 41st Street now, this is also another one-way with traffic going the other way. Well, yeah, we're going to try to go to Wendy Park and end the video there, where they have a temporary artwork installation that's really cool. Now this one does allow cars to turn right off of the highway. So when the light changes, you just have to hope that the cars follow and yield to pedestrians. But I always advise never to blindly do that. So back there at West 41st, that's our final main stop with traffic. I mean, granted, there's a tiny dead-end side street there and one up here too. But pretty much this is where you can just go continuously now. And on the left there, you can see the Red Line Greenway getting closer to being level with us. And I'm always fascinated by old little walkways and bridges. You can see that closed off on the left there. And you see the sign, the yellow bicycle sign here, indicating how we're going to be facing an incline going down. And now we are level with the Red Line tracks on the left. Hopefully we'll see one pass us by. It's always nice to capture that on the video. When you're going to downtown, a lot of the way you're able to coast, because that was like a downhill thing, and even though it gets slightly uphill here, you can just use that momentum. Now when you're going the opposite direction from downtown, you do face like a slight incline upward. So if you need to pedal a bit, yeah, you're going to get more of a workout. That's why I enjoy taking this toward downtown. One of the alternatives, if you're starting near where I started, you could ride out toward Edgewater Park, and there's a nice trail going alongside Edgewater and Lake Erie. I think some people might ask, and I wondered the same thing when I first saw this trail open years ago, was like, oh, is this trail safe? I've never heard of any incidents or seen any on the times that I've ridden it, but I do understand and agree with anyone who would think like, man, it looks pretty isolated and you're kind of fenced in on both ends. So I don't know if I would like go in this area as a walker by myself, especially if I'm not able to like flee and use my legs to run fast out of here. But again, I am not fearful at all. It's just one of those things, anytime you ride on a trail, you kind of look like in your surroundings and consider those possibilities. Now you can see downtown Cleveland creeping into the view. Key Tower, Terminal Tower, Huntington Building, even the Sherwin-Williams building now part of that view. I've never noticed in the past they have like remnants of old infrastructure. And these two murals have been here for a while on the right side. When I say for a while, I mean since the trail is open. You do see one jogger up ahead. Closer to West 25th, like here, you have a few paths that connect. Like that one might be near where St. Wendellin's Church would be. And I think you have another one a little bit up ahead where you can enter or exit the trail. Few bumps there. Yeah, these, wonder how those all formed. I don't remember those in the past. Kind of just like random spots too. I guess I lied a little bit. There's some uphill areas here where you're having the pedal. There's the West 25th rapid station on the left. These walls on both ends seem like great mural opportunities for someone in the future. You know what someone could do if you're worried about graffiti? Those are tall enough where you could probably start the mural high up. All right, and here's always a... Well, unfortunately, we didn't capture a red line coming in or out on the video, but this is always a great view, like right around here when you're getting ready to enter downtown Cleveland. I'm going to try to take a picture quick because you don't want to be stopping if someone's like riding a bike behind you, but you got the downward angle, see all the Cleveland buildings from downtown, and now you're going underneath the bridge where the red line would be heading into downtown. And in the future, this is going to connect to the Irishtown Bend. That's why you see the road closure sign right here. So if you remember the Irishtown Bend project that I've talked about, you've got, you know, the road closure, but also what they're going to be developing in the future there. But now you can still continue on a bike or multi-purpose trail by crossing the road right there. You have to watch out for these temporary rocks they have there. By the way, I completely missed it when I was going by, but under the bridge there, not this first part, but on the other end, it does say "Welcome to Irishtown Bend." Yeah, so they got a couple little spots of construction there. Forgive the squeaky brakes. Haven't adjusted these for a while. Now let me think real quick, because I know where this trail goes, but I want to see what the shorter route is to get to Wendy Park. I feel like I could go under this bridge, but yeah, let me just Google that real quick while you enjoy this picture. That's a nice view too. Because we're 1 mile away from the thing I want to go to. Yeah, it says to just go straight down this road, Columbus. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do that. But before we do, look across the way there. They've made a lot of progress. Let me try to zoom in, even though it's not that far of a zoom in. Look at that area over there. That was all flat and like nothingness before. Now they've built, I don't think they're all finished yet or being occupied at all, but those are all new, you know, properties that people can rent and live in the flats. So that area is going to be like completely new, and I'm assuming they're going to have some little restaurants and shops perhaps too. I don't know how plentiful those will be. I know you have like the Brew Dog that's popular near there. But yeah, it's going to be, instead of just having a dead area of the flats over there, that's going to really revitalize that. So one day I'm going to do a video once that's all completely done. This is tight here. Ideally, I should have ridden the bike in the street portion, because there's a protected bike lane there, but I was sort of trying to show the picture of the bridge, or sorry, picture across the bridge, across the water. Let me make sure, did I continue my video? Yeah. I was gonna say I better. I know I paused it earlier. There's nothing more demoralizing as a YouTube travel vlogger than bike riding a certain distance, like 10-15 minutes worth of footage, and then realizing you forgot to hit the record button again. One sort of negative that people were pointing out is one of the Cleveland signs is over there, and oh shit, sorry. See, one of the examples why you have to, I'm here trying to look at the Cleveland sign. Look, you got a bunch of busted glass on the ground. So always got to pay attention. But anyway, I haven't gone up to it myself, but someone else had taken a picture. I think indicated that either all those, I'm not sure if it's the properties that I was pointing out that they're developing, or if it's other things. But it's sort of blocked the former nice view of downtown Cleveland, so it's not like really picturesque anymore. You know what? Should I do a quick detour? I guess I should. Let's detour for 1 second, because a year or so ago, I was trying to find this darn mural for the Cleveland Metro Parks, and I went all the way over that way, and like, darn, like, I don't know where the mural is. So I ended up giving up on it, and then later discovered that, okay, it was actually off of this road. Yeah, the Cleveland Metro Parks have a nice mural that they put up here. I believe it was last year. Showing off the emerald necklace. Yeah, unfortunately, I want to go right up to it because the grass is probably saturated. But yeah, it's a nice mural. Sort of just hidden back here. All right, let's go back to the path we were on. Quite a few cars utilizing this road early morning. Here. Fingers crossed that this bridge is open. I'm pretty sure it is. But for last year and I think the early part of this year, this bridge that would connect essentially connect you over from the east bank of the flats area to the west bank of the flats was closed to everyone. You had the bridge up, and you know, cars couldn't get through it, so you had to go the only way to get in there really was to go all the way around, you know, over the Detroit Superior Bridge. Yep, it's been back open, but I just wanted to make sure of that. Alright, let me check real quick where that bike path goes to. I can't remember if I need to go left or right here. Well, it says for the quickest route I can stay on Center Street, but I want to take the actual bike path. It should be a little bit uphill here, and then I can take a right-hand turn. So this one is the Cleveland Foundation Centennial Trail Lake Link. On our left would be mulberries. So this bike multi-purpose trail cuts in between some buildings. A little stop sign here. If I'm not mistaken, when we get up here at this next stop sign, we're going to just make a right-hand turn. Well, we're going to cross first and then make a right-hand turn. Trying to remember the last time I took this, if they had this portion also paved like a bike path or if it was just a sidewalk still. Alright, now here it says walk bike across bridge, and that's likely because of how narrow it is. Walk your bike, and also if someone's coming the other way, you don't want to be dominating it, because look, you know, the handlebars literally take up the entire way. So over there you can see some views of where the Flats East Bank would be. And if I turn the opposite direction, some industrial related areas. then you got your bridge crossing over toward Wendy Park. And then you could take this whole trail here back to Edgewater. So if you're a tourist, especially visiting Cleveland, and you're like, hey, how can I get like a great view of a bunch of bike riding in the city? You can see a lot on the west side at least, and truly form like a big circle. But yep, here's the small giants statues where I wanted to conclude the video. I'm going to shoot a separate video that like goes up close to them and shows some more scenery. It'll probably be like a short 5-minute video or so, so feel free to check that out as a mini continuation to this. But yeah, but otherwise, if you enjoyed this bike riding video in Cleveland, Ohio, of the Red Line Greenway and various other parts close to downtown Cleveland, feel free to hit the like button. As you also see Whiskey Island area. Subscribe to Poco Traveler if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.